Hi, my name is Juliana Arzone, and my keyword is glass ceiling. Women make up a majority of the U.S. population. Although they hold almost 52% all professional level jobs, American women lag substantially behind men when it comes to their representation in leadership positions. They are only 14.6% of executive officers, 8.1% of top earners, and 4.6% of Fortune 500 CEOs. The rates are even worse for women of color. Women of color represent only 4.5% of the total members of Congress. They only make up 4% of governors, 5% of state legislators, 2% of the mayors of the largest American cities. The reason can be due to a glass ceiling effect. Glass ceiling is a political term used to describe the unseen yet unreachable barriers that keep women and minorities from rising to the upper levels of the corporate ladder, regardless of their qualifications or achievements. It can be described as the concrete ceiling for some minority women. After the women's liberation movement and civil rights legislation of the 1960s, many people felt that discrimination was all in the past. However, there are still barriers. Although these movements opened many doors, some women and minorities still remain frustrated that they are the ones required to make sacrifices in order to balance family life with a career. Even as more women entered the workforce during the 1960s and 1970s, feminists noted that traditionally male jobs were slow to warm to women. Other practical glass ceiling matters included unequal pay rates and the idea of the maternal wall, which refers to stereotypes and various forms of discrimination encountered by working mothers and mothers seeking employment. Number 1. Occupational segregation. Women workers are concentrated in certain fields, usually noted as pink-collar fields. It can be said that because women are socialized to be more communal and nurturing, therefore they are more likely to go into service and care sectors, such as teaching, social work, and nursing. These pink-collar jobs are a product of our gendered socialization, not perceived sex differences. Number 2. Informal networks. Women have and continue to be excluded from networking activities and opportunities. These are seen as domains exclusively for men, usually called all-boys clubs. In addition to that, women are usually responsible for most of the child's rearing and do not have time to attend these events. This contrasts with men who do not necessarily have to take off time from work for childcare responsibilities. Number 3. Sex discrimination. In much research, it has been found that women are not viewed as competent as their male counterparts, and when their competency is equal to that of a man's, they are viewed as less favorable employees. Moreover, politics and the legal profession are seen to be gendered spaces, which can have a negative effect on women who find themselves working there. Women's work is often devalued in comparison to men's work. Women may be underrepresented in leadership roles because terms associated with a leader are seen to fit typical male gender roles, and therefore women in leadership positions are less liked and negatively evaluated. As a result, there have been many attacks on powerful women. These attacks usually target the sexual attractiveness of the women and portray them as destroyers of male virility. Number 4. Sexual harassment. This has been seen to be a serious problem facing women in managerial ranks. Usually, lawsuits are not taken seriously, and this in turn demoralizes and devalues female employees. Number 5. Poor enforcement of anti-discrimination laws. The Supreme Court issued a series of 7 decisions on equal employment opportunity laws that now make it harder for women and minorities to successfully wage discrimination lawsuits. Lastly, men in corporate management positions tend to not perceive discrimination as a real problem. Therefore, appropriate measures may not be taken. I think that it is important as feminists to find ways to challenge these barriers to women's advancement by promoting awareness and taking action ourselves. We must strive to continue our education, support organizations that provide education to lower socioeconomic women and girls, and not let ourselves be deterred from succeeding in male dominated fields or professions.